Great, thank you. So it's good to see everyone's eating. It's very relaxed. Okay, so thank you for everyone. My name is Raymond. So I'm the PNC manager working in the OE team's organization effectiveness in Hong Kong Macau market. So I have worked across different industries. So in the financial services industry, I worked for Bloomberg, I worked for HSBC before. Also, I worked in the government trading industry in DFO. And I have about 10 years of people management experience already. So my experience told me that no matter which industry or whether it's MNC or local firm that you're in, feedback giving is very important. So to be a great leader in any company, you have to know how to give great feedback in order to gain trust, in order to push for better performance, right? Okay. So after you've learned from Aisha about the what and the how and all the tension that you get from delivering feedback, I want to be able to help you to actually use a model, a 5-star model, to structure your next feedback. Okay, so we know what feedback is, we know how to do it, but if you don't structure it well enough, maybe it doesn't help you very much. Okay, so for this one, let's all get up. We'll come over here to the other side of the room. So if I can all get you to look at this one, I shaped it like a star. Okay. You notice that? All right. So one of the first step that you have to do when you prepare your next feedback, okay, is it's a very structured process, right? So the first one is to provide context, and what that means is you want to be able to tell the person why we're here, why are we having this conversation? It doesn't just happen, right? So why are we talking? And then next one, to describe the impact. So after you tell them, okay, so we're here to talk about something that we did before, what's the impact? Oh, I'm sorry. You want to be specific? Sorry, specific. Okay. So you want to be specific about what you want to say. Okay. So be specific, as in tell them the event or the thing that happened, right? In specific, with not very generic feedback, right? Like Aisha said, we need to tell them the evidence. What did you do? So some observable behaviors. Okay. And then we want to be describing the impact. Okay, so that means, okay, so the thing that he or she did, what kind of impact did it have on the company or on the stakeholders, right? Whether if someone was late, let's say, so maybe if he be late at the next meeting, or someone has to be late together with him to the next meeting, right? So the impact that action had, and then we want to reinforce the identity. Okay, so whether it is a positive positive feedback or a constructive feedback, okay, you want to be able to let the person know that I'm telling you this feedback is to reinforce change. But you yourself, you are doing well in what you're doing already. Okay, it's just that this part that I want to let you know, and we can change that together. And then finally, take action. So this one, it depends on whether it is a positive feedback or constructive one. If it's a positive feedback, the action is, well, good job, well done. Let's continue to do that, right? But if it's a constructive feedback, then what you want to say is, okay, let's work together. What's our action plan? How can we change that? Or how can I help you change that, right? So this is what Aisha mentioned about the two-way conversation, right? Make it a dialogue, right? So I'm giving you feedback, but I want you to work together with me to make the change happen, okay? So, all right, so for the next one, next part, I want to have an activity with you. Let's do a lineup. This time, it's about when was the last time you cooked? Okay, so somebody, I know my friend Aisha, she loves to cook. So when was the last time you cooked? So if you just cooked, a day ago or last night, you stand here, and like me, if you cooked 15 years ago, you're here.
Yeah.
พี่เสียสละ
น่าจะชนะพี่จุ๋ม
เฮ้ยจริงเหรอ
พี่จุ๋มน่าจะ
Okay. Okay.
ชนะพี่จุ๋ม
Monday.
Monday. Okay, you cooked Monday and then.
Just before I came here, 3 days ago.
Okay, similar.
Similar.
You guys love cooking. Okay.
About a week ago.
A week ago. Okay. All right.
A couple months ago.
Couple. We can't really count that. Okay.
Get here.
January
January.
Okay.
something like that
Okay, we forgot, right? Okay, and you.
Can't remember.
Can't remember. Okay, I'll be like right here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
15 years, right? Okay, thank you. So now I want to put you into 5 groups, right? So Pop, you'll be on your own, okay, this group, and then for Aisha and for Sujam, you'll be in together. This part's you need more thinking, and then so you are on your own.
Oh, I'm on your own. Okay.
Yeah, and then for you, you are on your own as well, and then you do it together. Okay, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, right? So what I want you to do is each of you will take a activity. So for Pop, you'll be providing the context, okay, and then for you two, you'll be taking this being specific, okay, because this is very important. So that's why I put two people together, okay. And for Tasum, you'll be taking describe impact, and then for Din, you'll be doing reinforce identity, and for you two together, you take action. And the case, the feedback that we want to provide now is kind of funny. Okay, so it's a positive feedback that you want to provide to think about either your son or your roommate. Okay, who finally is willing to throw out the trash. Okay, so he never want to throw out the trash. He's just like sitting on the couch, right? And now he finally is willing to throw out the trash. Okay, all right. So quickly think about what is the part that you want to say like within one feedback. So all together, you guys are making up this feedback. Okay. So when you're ready, we'll start with you.
Okay.
So how do you provide that context of this positive feedback?
I would want to say I appreciate.
So, sorry.
just do it
My-
right
my
now?
bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a quick one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Start?
Okay. So we'll start from Bob, and then we'll go down here because it's a process, right?
So
Okay.
you are the roommate, right? You are.
I'm the roommate or the son
Okay,
who's
okay.
finally willing to throw the trash.
You're doing this specific.
I would want to say I appreciate his effort to finally do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, that's a good start because now you told me why we're talking. Okay, that you're appreciating what I did. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Bob.
We would probably say that, on these dates, in the last few weeks, you have not picked up the trash before, so now that you've decided on this date, it would really help us.
Okay. Good. Good. That's specific.
Specific.
Yeah. So it has the what I didn't do before and now what I did, right? And that's good. Okay, so that's specific. And then-
So I will tell him that he really make my life a lot easier. Now my room got the very good smells and I really have a better health. And they can like ease off my work that I don't have times and yeah, that's a lot of good things happening when he take out the trash.
Awesome.
Oh.
That's a great impact. Yeah, that one. Okay. Good.
I have nothing more to say after this.
Well, yeah.
I would say you will get used to it. It will become your experience, and
Mhm.
it could be you can take this and adapt it to other job that you have in the future.
Okay, so you're building my identity.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would also say a bit more about how I do well in other part of when we're living together, I guess. Right. So you're kind of organized, right? Just now you throw out the trash. That's good. It adds to your list of good things.
Yes.
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And finally.
Finally, we also say appreciate, thank you, well done, and also
what we can like help we can help together to make our room clean.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And you can also say, let's do this together.
Yeah.
Maybe set a schedule. Like some days can be you, some days can be me, and so that person feels good. Okay, I did it, and now my roommate is very happy. Okay, that's great. And thank you, everyone. So this can really happen on the fly as well. It doesn't have to be okay. Let's sit down, roommate. We're gonna talk with you, right? No, it can be informal. Right? You can just talk, right? Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. I want to share one story that I had before. So when I started my career, when I started my people managing career, one of the first experience I had for giving feedback is I want to let this guy know that you did a good job, right, in whatever you were doing. And then I want to add to that a negative, like a constructive feedback. So good job in this, and there are these things that you can do as well, right? And then days after that, that guy become so negative and I talked to him. He was like, "What's up? What happened?" And then he said, "I thought you were gonna fire me." So so I want to say that and feedback given not in a good fashion can really have a negative effect, right? And sometimes if you try to slip in like a positive feedback and then constructive feedback together, it might not be working that well. Okay. So now for the next session, let's do a constructive feedback. Okay. So for the person on your workup on your handout that you wrote down in the home part, think of that person, and then think of the next time that you would do a constructive feedback with this person. Okay. Now think about that, and while keeping these five steps in mind. Okay. So you can go back to your seat and sit down and think about that. I'll give you 3 minutes for that. Okay, 3 minutes right now. Wow, enjoying
I
food.
did.
ทำไมต้องพูดแบบเขินๆ What is situation?
So I think the person that you wrote.
Okay.
So think of that person that you can give the feedback to.
ดูเอ็มโกรธเป็นนะก็อยากดู
Yeah, it's for that same person. So throughout the whole exercise today, we're thinking of that person. And this is a constructive feedback. So using the STAR model, so I'll show you here. Again, so that's a STAR model. So in this 5-star model, work out your next feedback with this person. You have 1.5 minutes left. And after this, you'll be practicing with your neighbor. Okay.
I'm thinking.
You have some of mine already.
Yeah, I'm working in my mind.
Okay. Okay, 30 seconds. Seconds. Just wrap things up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you. So next, I'm going to ask you to work together in pairs. One of you read threes, so maybe you three work together, and try to practice what you thought about just now, what you planned out with this 5-star model. Okay. Tell each other how you're going to do it. Okay. So you two can work together as well. So I'll give you 4 minutes for that. When it's half the time to swap, I'll let you know.
Now I'm not
กับพนักงาน feedback เรื่องอะไร
I'm not
สไตล์การทำงานสไตล์การเยอะก็จะพยายามเรื่องแบบ
I don't recommend you do it. Yeah, just do it separately.
แล้วก็
And
อะไร พอจะอาหารการกินก็จะเลือกเวลาไหนก็ต้องเกินได้นะตอนเช้าก็อาจจะเกินแบบพี่อยากจะปรึกษาที่นี่สมมติตอนเช้าปรึกษาหน่อยวันนี้มีเวลาว่างช่วงไหนไหมต้องมีดีกูอ่ะก็อย่างนั้นก่อนแล้วพอเขาไปคุยก็จะเปิดใจว่าไม่สบายใจเรื่องอะไรแล้วรีแอคชั่นจับเชื่อเริ่มด้วยคอนเทกต์ก่อนใช่ไหมก็พูดก่อนว่าวันนี้ที่จะอยากเป็นเรื่องอะไรแล้วก็เพราะอะไรเสร็จแล้วก็
So 30 seconds left on the first person.
ได้คุณจะถามกูแล้วแหละว่าอยากรู้ว่าใครจะพูดอะไร
อ๋อ
จะเริ่มพูดอะไรเนี่ยอยู่ในห้อง
ก็บอกว่าสมมติก็บอกว่าก็เริ่มทำงานนี้มาสักพักนึงแล้วแล้วก็คิดว่าเราก็เริ่มจูนกันได้แล้วทีนี้มันมีบางอย่างที่พี่ทำได้ดีอย่างเช่นนี่แล้วอาจจะแบบบางอย่างที่อาจจะทำให้เราไม่สามารถจูนได้แบบได้ก็นี่ไงก็
10 seconds and then we'll swap.
ก็บอกสิ่งที่ดีก่อนแล้วเสร็จแล้วก็ค่อยช่วยสิ่งว่าแต่ว่าสิ่งที่
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you haven't done so yet, you can swap and the next person can practice. Thank you.
Your turn. กินด้วยกินแบบกินอยู่กับเพื่อนเยอะๆ
กินกันสองคน
อ๋อ
ดิ
นึกว่าจะเมองมอยอะ
Oh, it's scary.
Nice become personal.
Feedback on another level.
Oh, okay. Wow. But you were able to apply something that. Is that everyone wears it? Personal rating test at home.
ไม่เป็นไรวันหลังระวัง
So I'll just give you 10 more seconds to wrap up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. Thank you everyone for that. So, but
They still enjoy.
they have 3 people, so I understand. So,
You went so fast. I tried to cover like.
Where is it?
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So I hope you're able to think about how to shape your next feedback session with this model and also with everything that you've learned, right? So just now what we've tried is we had a chance to play with the positive feedback and also a constructive feedback. Did you find that the positive one was a little bit easier?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. But strangely, research has shown that people are not very good with, or they don't give positive feedback as frequent as they do constructive feedback. So studies have shown that in the UK primary school, that the ratio of constructive feedback, or sometimes negative, right, to positive ones to the kids, from teacher to the kids, is actually 19 to 1. So all day long they're being told, don't do that. That's wrong. Be careful, right? Instead of, oh, good job, you did well here. So it's 19 to 1. And so this ratio is really, I see you.
Practice.
Okay, good job. That's good. That's 1 plus already. Good. So this kind of ratio doesn't work for anybody, right? And so just to dive in a little bit deeper, when you're working in your office, right? I don't know if you know about MBTI, but it's a personality trait study. So for thinking, there are 2 types of people. One is the thinking type, one is the feeling type. So for the feeling type of people, they can get as much as positive, they want to receive as much positive feedback as possible, okay? So one person even said to the researcher, I can get 1,000 to 1, and that will still make my day, that will still work for me. But for someone who's thinking type, right, like logical type, actually she needs more of the constructive feedback because she wants to know how she's doing. So the ratio that she prefers is actually 1 to 1, okay? So for each positive feedback you gave, she actually prefers another constructive feedback just to let her know how she's doing. Okay, so when you apply all these things that you've learned today to work, really think about your target, right? Who you are trying to give that feedback to, and how to do it in a structured way. Okay, good. So next, if I can invite you just to sum up everything together, okay, in your handout at the bottom, just below the star, there's a spot where you can write about my situation. Okay, so really think about what is the situation that you want to be addressing, right? And then how could I structure my feedback, which I think you did already just now, you tried it. And what challenging reactions might you get? So Aisha has walked us through 4 types of challenging reactions, right? So write those down. What might that person react, or how might that person react when you say this to them? And then, so how will you overcome any difficulties? Whether it's about the tension that you receive, whether it's about the exact return feedback that you get. And then how will I start this conversation? And how can I ensure that it becomes part of the conversation? Right? So I'll give you 2 minutes for that. And you can just write down on your own. Okay? One minute left. Seconds. Okay. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. And great. So would you like to share something that you've written down that really impacted you if you feel what you learned from today? You can maybe share a little bit. then that's his personal.
Yes, personal for me. I want to share. แรง
Anyone? And it's okay too, because this is your own experience, and take what you've learned, and then go back to your everyday working life and try to apply that to the next feedback session. It's okay. Okay. So, okay, with everything that we do, right, all the courses that we have, and especially this great feedback session that we have, okay, we want to tie it back to our energies. So we have, of course, I'm sure you know all the energies already, and it's actually at the back of your handout. Okay, so there are these 5 energies, and with the feedback that we've learned how to give great feedback, we're actually able to apply it and to tie it into each of the energies. Okay. So if I can get maybe someone to speak to one of the energies, that how great feedback can be linked to that. So how do you think great feedback might be applied?
People fair. People are fair.
Okay, you see one of that?
So you actually helps this person to improve on their performance and actually empowering this person to perform better. So that's it's a work of a people fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agree.
Forward leaning.
Okay.
So if you are getting regular feedback, it helps you become more proactive and helps you become a little more forward leaning. You're more adaptable if you're getting it regularly.
Regular feedback.
Regular feedback.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. Anyone else want to give it a try? You seem like you have an idea.
I think consumer decor.
Right.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier about like the character of the people, if we carefully and then we foresee what they feel, the reaction, and then we can send like with the heart and minds of that person, and then it's easier to manage
Right.
that person.
Right, and especially if you got solid data, then you can use that to be part of your great feedback too, right? Yeah, okay, that's good. Great. So here I've got some tips for you. So we can all work with all these tips together. And so here actually at the back we have tips for everyone as well. So you can use these tips, to help yourself to kind of remind yourself on what can I do in my developing the great feedback next time, right? So, for example, number 3 is quite important. How do you preempt that, right? When you go and speak to the person, what kind of reaction do you expect from that person? Again, if we are able to anticipate the tension, then we try to manage it, right? Try to avoid it. And always, like I said, use the 5-star model, right, to structure your feedback before you give it. Okay. And there are some further resources for you, and also some books that you can refer to. Okay. So now, before we end this, I would like you to all stand up. Okay, we'll do a little cocktail style. Okay. So think of one thing so out of all the things that you learned from myself, from Aisha, commit one thing to yourself that you will do in your next feedback session. Okay, think of one thing that you commit doing, and then walk around, share with at least 3 persons. Okay, and I'll give you 2 minutes for that. Okay, you can start.
Listen more. Me too. Listen to you. Okay. Listen.
Before that, I used to be generators to speak out.
I would not direction.
Yeah, พูดความจริง
I just realized
ไม่ใช่โกหกจะพูดความจริงแล้วก็
Stop rushing.
พูดให้ฟีดแบ็ก directly specific มากขึ้น